What's going on, everyone? I am Matt Pendergraph, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the Zebex Air Plus Rower 4.0. So if that sounds interesting to you, you're not going to want to go anywhere. And as always, if you're new to the channel, welcome, glad to have you. Consider subscribing if you like home gym related content, because that's pretty much all I create. Also, be sure to follow me over on Instagram for even more home gym related content, and check out my website, mattpendergraph.com, for exclusive discount codes, and it's where I house my affiliate links if you're into supporting this kind of content. So with all that out of the way, let's dive into this review. All right, so first and foremost, I'm gonna preface this video by saying I do not like cardio. I don't enjoy it. There's nothing enjoyable about getting my heart rate up and going and breathing heavy. I would rather throw weights around. But that being said, I know I need to be doing it, especially the older I get, and I've got two little ones running around, and I'd like to be able to keep up with them as long as possible. So that's where this rower came into play. Again, I don't like doing cardio, but if I am gonna do cardio, I wanna get the most bang for my buck, so to speak. So rather than just go yogging with a soft J, I would rather do something for a minimal amount of time and get the most out of it. If you're not familiar with rowing in general, if this is your first time even considering picking up a cardio piece, I highly recommend looking at fan bikes or rowers. In this video, I'm gonna be specifically talking about rowers. And even more specifically, I'm gonna be focusing in this video on the Zebex Fitness Air Plus Rower 4.0. And just in case you aren't familiar with Zebex Fitness, they primarily, if not solely, focus on creating cardio equipment, such as the rowers. They got fan bikes, they got curved treadmills, sleds, ski machines. Basically, if you want to do cardio, Zebex Fitness has you covered. And speaking of Zebex Fitness, I'm actually not going to be linking them in the description of this video for you to purchase through them. I'm going to be linking a company, GetRx, who in their own right sells fitness equipment. They got their own brands of like bars and bumpers and all that jazz. But I'm pretty sure they're a distributor of Zebex Fitness, or at least that's my understanding. Either that or there's some sort of an ownership, maybe a sister company or something. Maybe I'm just talking out of my butt. I have no clue. Either way, this rower came from GetRx, and it's a Zebex Fitness rower. Okay, that is enough with the small talk. It is time to delve deep into the rower. Jumping into the specs, this thing is an absolute beast. At about 8 feet long and weighing 93 pounds, this rower was clearly designed with the biggest of users in mind. I myself, I'm 220 and just under 6 feet. I very much appreciate the sheer size and robust build quality of this rower. And just in case you're saying to yourself, the rower's too big, it's too heavy, it takes up too much floor space when not in use, and you can't move it around easily. To that I would say, you shut your mouth. You shut your mouth and you listen to me. This rower is designed to easily fold up and take up a space less than 3 feet when not in use. And furthermore, when it's in the folded position, it sits on 4 wheels that allow for easy transportation. Another design element that personally speaks to me is this ergonomic seat that they've added to the rower. Constructed of high-density foam and sitting at a height of 20 inches from the ground, this thing is not only very comfortable, it makes getting on and off an absolute breeze. Also, fun fact for you, your standard toilets don't even sit up this tall. And we all know how awful they can be, especially after a good leg day. The seat glides buttery smooth along the rail thanks to 2 bearing rollers, and is obviously one of 3 contact points you're gonna have with this machine when using it. The handle and the foot cradles being the other 2, which both feel incredibly premium. The handle is constructed of aluminum and features rubber for grip, while the foot cradles are plenty sturdy and adjustable to accommodate the biggest of feet. Now let's talk about the Air Plus portion of this rower and find out what the heck that even means. As you can see right here, it's got a nice big fan up front and a selector switch allowing you to adjust between 10 different damper settings. Like a traditional fan style rower, this unit creates resistance by utilizing air. Basically, the harder you work, the more resistance you're creating for yourself. Now, the way the damper settings work is by letting air into the system, with 1 letting in the least amount of air, thus creating the least amount of resistance, and 10 letting in the most amount of air, which creates the most amount of resistance. Now, Zebex, they could have stopped right there and said, you know what, air resistance is enough. But nope, they chose not to. They chose to integrate magnetic resistance into the mix, hence the name Air Plus in the Air Plus rower name. And what that means is they've conveniently located a selector knob on the side of the rower with 8 different magnetic settings in addition to the 10 different damper settings for the air resistance. That's a whole lot of freaking settings. This unique blend of magnetic and air resistance really allows the user to dial in their precise level of cardio torture. And from my experience, making micro adjustments, toggling between the two, I didn't really notice too much of a difference. Not as much as I did when I made larger jumps between the two. So anyways, probably not the best person to listen to because I've already stated I hate cardio and I avoid it at all costs, but you got me, so you got to deal with it. Now it's time to move on to what is essentially the brains behind this entire operation, the display console, or the rower computer if you will. And I gotta be honest with you, as cool as this thing is, I rarely use mine outside of keeping track of just time and distance that I travel, mainly because when I'm rowing, I'm usually watching TV. Now the console display is plenty big in my opinion. It's brightly lit, it shows you a ton of metrics if you're into that sort of stuff. I like the fact that it kicks on the minute you start pulling so you're not having to fumble around with buttons. And it's pretty cool that it's got Smart Connect integrated right into it. Smart Connect, if you aren't familiar with it, basically allows this unit to connect to third-party apps on your phone or your tablet, thus enabling you to further keep track of metrics, play games with friends, play games without friends, whatever the apps allow you to do. So if that sounds interesting, definitely check that stuff out. Now on that note, if you do plan on utilizing the Smart Connect, I don't know what you're supposed to do with your phone, seeing as though I have yet to find a device holder anywhere on this rower. Maybe I'm an idiot, maybe I'm overlooking it, maybe there was one in the box and I just chunked it. I have no clue. Ideally, you would want something mounted to the monitor though. Sure, you can put your phone on the spine of the rower, but it's not ideal because it's pointed up in the position of your body. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So I don't know, I checked Zebex, I checked GetRx, I didn't see anything. Again, maybe I just overlooked it, but I did see on Amazon, you can get some third-party clip-on device holders. That might be an option. Just food for thought if you plan on going that route. So before I wrap up this video, there are a few other things worth noting. One, there is some assembly required when you receive the rower. It's not that big of a deal, but for whatever reason, I struggled through the assembly process, and I'm normally pretty good at that. I don't know if it's because I was tired, I just unfocused, the instructions weren't clear, a combination of everything, but all in all, it took me far longer than it should have to put this together. I just really didn't enjoy the process. I will say though, that they did include the tools necessary to put it together, so I didn't have to go fumbling around through my tools to find what I needed, so that was a plus. Secondly, this is a chain-driven system, not a belt-driven, and what that means is it's gonna require a little bit of maintenance on your part from time to time, and it's a little louder than a belt-driven system. Me, myself personally, I don't really care because I'm working out here in the garage, but it's something worth noting. And then lastly, the rower has a 5-year warranty on the frame itself and a 2-year warranty on the non-wear parts, which is standard based on my research of rowers of this caliber. And honestly, I think that's a great warranty. Unless you're gonna be throwing this in a commercial setting where it's gonna just see daily abuse, just boom, 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 you're probably not gonna have any problems with it, especially not in a residential setting. I mean, this thing is incredibly beefy, everything's well done. I don't think anything's gonna be wearing out anytime soon in the near foreseeable future. All in all, I could not be happier with this rower. Its robust build quality, the sheer size of it, like I said, the fact that it can fold up when I wanna store it up, it takes up very little space, and then you can maneuver it around the gym, a complete game changer. For someone like me who's constantly shuffling pieces around, it's an absolute must. So I would say if you are in the market for a piece of cardio equipment, definitely recommend at least giving this rower a look-see, or just any pieces that Zebex offers. They're all gonna be great pieces. Alrighty everyone, that is all I got for you. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, smash that like button for me. If you have any questions, maybe I didn't cover something that you wanted me to, be sure to let me know in the comment section and I will get on that. Other than that, I appreciate you watching. You all have a good rest of the day. Let's roll out. Why don't you like it?
Rowers don't make noises like that.
Alrighty, everyone.
No.
I've been watching a lot of Seinfeld lately.
I don't care.
Kramer.
Don't do that.
All right, everyone.